Hello and welcome to the first episode of Knox Talent Meets. This is where we sit down with creative people, we hear their story, then we give them a chance to show off their talents. Today's guest is a writer, an actor, and an artist. Today's guest is Sean Al-jumaily. KTM!
This is where Knox Talent meets.
Quiet on the set. Action.
All right, what's up, man?
What's good? How goes it?
So glad to have you here. Episode number 1. Huge things are happening.
Hell yeah.
I've already given you a nice introduction, so we will just jump right in.
Let's do
We
it.
introduce you, Sean Al-jumaily. You are a writer, an actor, and an artist. Do a little painting and drawing, from what I understand. So I really want to get onto the book first.
All
so
right.
I got to read a little bit of the first chapter.
Hell yeah.
And super engaging. Your word choice, I can't even believe some of your words. You know, I have to look them up and
Yeah.
um,
Cool. Making me feel good. Making me feel good.
what can you tell us about the book?
Okay, so super awesome jumping off point, by the way. That's thank you for that. Because that is one thing that I'm super passionate about is my book. 14 chapters in, which for me is an insane accomplishment. Sometimes I can be lazy, but yeah. So I'm super passionate about it. It is called The Creators. Okay. Not sure how I'm gonna make it creative. See what I did there? No, I'm gonna make it creative. Maybe use a K and a Z in the word creators. I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's not like the biggest thing. The biggest thing is the idea behind it. Powers and Marvel and these things are super, super big right now. Huge. I mean, huge. And so what my characters have is they have special abilities. They have special powers. But it's not like anything you've ever seen before. And so I'm just taking a deep dive into this idea that I thought about. And it was funny because a show came out called The Magicians. Maybe you've heard of it.
I've seen it.
Yeah?
I love it.
Okay, you like it? So I thought it was going to be, I was like, oh, this is going to be that idea. This is going to be that idea. And I want to see this. And it wasn't. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. I'm meant to do this. No one is coming out with this idea, and it is so big. I watched some videos, did some research on how to write fiction writing. It's science fiction, by the way.
Right.
But I did some research on it. He said there's one guy he's a famous writer. I don't remember his name, but he's written so many books. He said that there's no room in the marketplace right now for a small idea. It's got to be big. It's got to be a big idea. So my idea is, it is epic. It is epic. It is so big. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that's just iconic, that becomes part of pop culture, super big, legendary, and I feel like it will be a movie. And I'm in acting, so I feel like I might be in the movie myself as the main character.
Right.
And yeah, so super excited.
So do you feel like, are you the main character?
I actually, so writing the story, the main character's name is Andro. His name is Andro.
Okay.
And there's meaning behind there's meaning behind the names. There's so much involved. There's not just randomly picked names.
Right.
I'm
Can you give us a
thinking-
base, maybe some kind of base plot? Anything?
So, let's see, what can I give?
Because you're being descriptive yet vague.
Right.
I want more, but I don't want it to be ruined.
So
obviously.
right, yeah, I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to give away the power, because the power is just it's pivotal when you read this and you get to that. It's cool when you get to the. Yeah, I'm assuming you haven't read the whole first chapter.
No.
Okay, so you haven't read the whole first chapter. When you get to that last line, it's this unbelievable, like, earth-shattering cliffhanger, and that's when you find out about the power, and you're like, what? Your eyes will probably, like, you're probably gonna blink in rapid succession. You'll be like,
How many?
Like, I want to read the next chapter. So
How many chapters do you have done?
So far, I'm in chapter 14.
Okay.
I don't know how many chapters there will be because a chapter varies. It could be a page. A chapter could be 10 pages. From what I've written, there's some are 2 pages long, some are 10 pages long in the chapter. So I want the book to be around 400, maybe 300, 400 pages.
Pages. Okay. Well, how many pages do you have?
So far, it's somewhere in the ballpark of 55 pages, 60 pages. So it's a lot. I've written a lot. I have generated a lot of content.
It's gonna be a lot of chapters.
Yeah,
You might want to split it up into multiple books. Do a trilogy or something.
I thought about that, and I have left openings actually in the story, in the plot line, where if it is that big, if it's as big as I'm really believing it's going to be, there are little openings where I can throw in a part 2 and then maybe potentially a part 3. So I've thought of that. I've thought of almost everything. Like I actually, this is really cool. I have written the very last paragraph.
Oh, already.
Of the book. I've written it out where the names really come into play. Okay. So, do I want to give you guys the name of the other main character? That's the question. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. So, main guy, his name is Andro, and then the main girl's name is Evelyn. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And so, but you were saying, you were asking about if the character. So there is a lot of me in the main character, and reading things and listening to things and trying to do research on this. They say, write what you're familiar with. So I am writing a lot of what I'm familiar with, but also just making it just so intriguing and doing research at the same time. So it's a mix of intrigue. It's a page turner, and like you said, which I really appreciate. I appreciate what you said. That it's very, it's vivid. You see it. My word usage. I have a vast vocabulary.
So when do you have an idea of when this book would be ready? Because now you got everybody excited.
Right, yeah. So because I'm working on so many endeavors, Knoxville Talent Meets, I'm an actor, writer, painter, artist, and I do other things like dabble. I've done a lot of magic. Not dabbled. I've got good at magic.
Okay.
Sleight of hand, prestidigitation, ledger domain, those things, all in that same milieu of magic. And I'm into fashion. I'm into pickup, game, psychology, gender psychology, a lot of things. So, I don't know when it will be done. What I do know, though, is I need to finish some things up, finish these shoes that we're probably going to show you guys a little taste here later. Finish these up, give them to customer number 1, and I'm really going to just deep dive into this book. I'm going to just dive. I'm going to pour my being into it.
Well, after this little conversation here, we're going to get to read a little bit for us, right?
So you guys
a little taste,
excerpt.
Right?
Yes,
I know you picked something good.
I picked something.
I know you picked something good.
Wonderful.
Right.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and switch gears here. You say you're an actor.
Yeah.
What got you into acting? What's that little backstory?
Excuse me. So acting. Let's see. Where did it start?
Where did you get started?
I have always watched movies. I would consider myself a movie buff. Watch movies, know the actors and actresses and all of that. I love movies since I was a kid. Watched them with my brother a lot. He's a little older than me. We watched movies all the time. We went to theaters. Going to theater to watch a movie is one of my favorite things to do. I thought it was just a cool idea, and then this does tie into what I was mentioning with pickup and learning how to where I got good and success with women, and I overcame my fears with women. It made me more confident and made me realize that I just had limiting beliefs and that I can do anything in this world.
Right.
And there's actually one of my logins. There's a security question is, what's your dream job? And my dream job, I put to be an actor. an actor, and I feel like that would just be my dream job. Not only is it just so much fun, you're having fun on stage. I feel like that's a principle for me. If I'm doing it, getting into acting or whatever I do, it's got to be I'm having fun. I got to be having fun. So yeah, I feel like you're going to be having fun as an actor. You're and there's so many different variables to it. So many people that you're going to meet. So much interaction with people. Right. You're really getting to express yourself and express that charisma and that character inside. I get to really access the full range of my personality.
We're talking about your acting. What point, like, what was the turning point? How old were you? What happened? What was the turning point where you're like, I am going to pursue this?
To jump right into it.
Jump right in.
So it was about, we'll say a year and a half ago. I was walking in the mall, and there was a flyer or something for a certain company, and I was like, you know what, let's just jump in. And why I was talking about game and pickup is because I was actually, I think in those moments I was getting a lot better, and my confidence was growing, and my belief in myself, self-belief, in the right way. I was just really believing in myself, and I saw this little ad, this flyer, whatever it was, and I was like, let's just try it out. Boom, did it. We signed up and got a call, and from there I just dove right in to classes to learning acting, and ever since then I have not looked back, and it's been one of the greatest choices ever. Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun.
And that's actually where we met, was in an acting class.
Yes, sir.
Which we're still part of, and it's fun. We do a lot of improv. Amazing. We learn the ins and outs. It's pretty fun.
Yes, it is.
So, well, very cool. Well, at the after this conversation, you're going to get to perform your monologue for us. So we'll get to see that.
Excited.
So
give you a little taste.
Well, before we run out of time, let's go over. You're an artist. You're a painter. You're a sketcher. You're a drawer.
Yes, sir.
What's the backstory? Let's hear about that.
So I've always drawn, you doodle as a kid, you scribble, whatever, always done that like any kid. But then I just found myself just being more interested in it than the average person. And I just did it more and more and more, drew more and more, learned little tricks, actually there's a cool story. I learned how to draw like the face of, I think it was Goofy, and the way that I was shown how to do it, you can draw his face in like a couple seconds, and that was just so interesting to me. And then there was another trick on how to draw mountains in a couple seconds, and I was like, well, this is cool. And then so I just kept drawing. Always, I was into Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. Oh, okay. That's my favorite show of all time. And so what I would do actually is I would rush home from school to get to watch Dragon Ball Z. And back then you had, the older TVs, you had the picture-in-picture,
right?
The picture-in-picture. I would take the little picture-in-picture and I'd pause that and hold it there, and the show would still be playing, and I would get my sketchbook and draw Dragon Ball Z characters. Yeah, so that was cool, and I just got better and better and better and better. And just loved it, and just,
I always tried drawing the hair. That was the most fun for me. I always sucked at it. Yeah, could never draw the hair.
Like the Saiyan, the Super Saiyan.
It just
hair,
looked like it looked like a weak Super Saiyan.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's tricky with the hair. There's all kind of varying tones, and varying lines and line weights. So yeah, the hair can be tricky.
Well, what is your main? What do you? So with your painting and drawing and all this, what are you focusing on right now in your artistry? What is your main focus?
Yeah. So right now, I've recently got into another thing that I'm super passionate about. I customize shoes. Right. And that's a big thing right now. There's a big demand for it. Customized shoes. It's all over the place, all over Instagram, YouTube, you name it. I can paint whatever. I use professional Angelus leather paint on shoes, but there's so many different different techniques and different additives that you can add that they make as well to paint not just on leather but on mesh, on plastic shoes, whatever.
Okay.
So I'm really into that. I'm painting. I have what we'll show later. Show them a little taste. I'm painting for my first customer, offering so much value on this thing. Okay. So these right now, I've got about 95 hours in these shoes, and I'm charging this man $50. So I'm offering so much value. They're probably like $1,000 pair of shoes, $1,500 pair of shoes, easy with the amount of paint. And something I'm very like proud of with mine, I don't use stencils. You see it all over YouTube. People use stencils when they paint. It's all freehand. It's all freehand. No cookie cutter art. All original. All freehand. So very, very proud of that. Very, that's a big accomplishment.
Very cool.
So, but yeah, I love it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Just playing with colors, drawing. He actually wanted, a little. He gave me some. He gave me like little like ideas to incorporate into his shoes. And he said he also wanted me to have artistic freedom. So he mentioned Iceman from Marvel. Bro, whipped up Iceman on there, and as we'll show them, it's quite magnificent.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Well, we're gonna get to see all this. We're gonna get to see your monologue. We're gonna get to see your shoes and the excerpt from your book. I'm really looking forward to the book excerpt. I can't wait to see how you read it.
I may be most excited about that.
You ever thought about doing your own audio version? Reading
where
it?
I read the book. I haven't thought about that, but when I've shared my book, like with my ex-girlfriend and stuff, I actually sat there and read it. Right. I think I read the whole chapter out loud because it's just there's something so self-actualizing and so like activating when you just read it out loud.
Also, too, it's
because it's your own thing and you're reading.
Right. Well, also, too, to hear the person who wrote it read it back. It's just another little level,
Right. That's like a special. Oh, it's like a special experience.
Right.
And you just reminded me of something which I find so I don't know, intriguing, profound, exciting, whatever. It's amazing. The greatest thing about writing a book, it's so cool because you're in this mode of pure creation. And it's funny too. It's ironic because the book is actually called The Creators, but you're in this mode of pure creation. And what's happening is I have the unique position to be the first person to experience the story.
Oh yeah,
to experience it as it unfolds, because I live it in this imaginative space, but it's a real world in there, and I'm like, and it's so amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your
I'm probably most excited.
Well, we're getting short on time here. Please let us know. Do your plugs. Social medias, where can we find you?
Absolutely. So YouTube, got my monologue up there. It's Pillarz of Progress.
Okay.
Pillarz with a Z.
All right.
Pillarz of Progress. And then my Instagram, SDA1617. S is in Sam, D is in David, A is in Apple. SDA1617 for Instagram. And then Facebook is going to be my name, Sean Al-jumaily, SEAN, and then Al-jumaily, AL-JUMAILY.
Okay.
For Facebook. And the nickname may be SDA1617 as well, but that's how you find me there.
I'll put all that in the description.
I think those are the main ones. Snapchat. If you want to add me on Snapchat, feel free. Noetic, Noetiq.
Okay.
And Noetic, cool little story about Noetic. Noetic means of the mind. So
okay.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
It's very poetic.
So thank you. Appreciate that. And
this has been fun, man. I can't wait. Everyone stick around because we're about to see what you're made of.
Yes, sir.
All your talents right here.
I'm excited.
So it was fun, man.
Let's get it. I'm excited. Appreciate it. Thank you. It is a privilege. You're so ambitious, aren't you? You know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes. You look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste. Good nutrition has given you some length of bone, but you're not more than one generation from pure white trash, are you, Agent Starling? And that accent you try so
desperately to shed. Pure West Virginia. What does your father do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stink of the lamp? I know how quickly the boys found you, all those tedious, sticky fumblings in the back seats of cars while you could only dream of getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to the FBI. All right, guys. Thanks for staying with us this far. You won't regret it. I got an excerpt for you here. This is out of my book, The Creators, like we talked about. This is chapter 1. This is from chapter 1, and super excited to share this with you. I believe in it so much. I really, really believe there's going to be a cult following, something like Twilight, Harry Potter levels of craziness. And I think there'll be a movie. And as an actor, I'm definitely playing the main role. So let's go. Let's jump right into it. All your study and practice of magic, and you still lack the obvious perspective. The man seemed disappointed. Sadly, you still belong to the void that pervades the masses. Can you not see what the world is missing? His leading eyes found the cub and held on her. She leapt off the counter, landing at his feet where she maneuvered and crossed through his legs. Andro, confused by the ramblings of the mysterious man, was about to respond when the cub came to an abrupt halt and purposefully peered into his eyes with her striking green gaze. He was caught in a flash and now stood entranced by her ferocity, like looking into an electrified emerald sun. Time stood still and the two were linked on an unknown wavelength. Perhaps she was attempting something hostile. Perhaps benevolent. Or maybe she was just sending a message. In Andro's spellbinding lapse, he didn't notice the flickering in the eyes of the tall man whose royal blue jewels were immersed in murky hiddenness like a thunderstorm veiled by an all-encompassing mist. For a moment, Andro forgot where he was. This is seriously far out, dude. He spoke numbed with a slight grin on his face. The world is definitely missing a radioactive tiger. The deep eyes of the man opposite Andro returned to the surface. He felt a rushing sensation of uneasiness tempered with the balance of promise. He experienced some sort of realization. Some mysterious prospect with earth-shattering implications. He uttered pointedly, "Enough. The deep creative power within you still lies dormant like so many others. Nevertheless, I must gather." Andro returned to reality as his locked stare broke, and he trained his wide eyes on the man speaking mystery. Holy smokes, dude, what is going on? Andro, it is time for you to create what so many others cannot. For you to go where you long to go, but have never been able. A light wind whispered through the shop. The end. So that's a little excerpt for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that. You can just sense my passion in the way that I read it, my word usage, everything. So hopefully it was visual. Hopefully you got sucked into that. I really enjoyed reading that for you guys. Thank you so much.
Cut.
KTM.